Welcome. In this video, we're going to discuss whether or not the CISSP certification is worth it. But first, some puppies. All right, let's go. So I went to ISC Squared's official website for the CISSP, and there they have a 1-minute video titled, "Is the CISSP right for you?" So I watched it. In the short video, they made 3 interesting statements about the CISSP that we'll discuss today. The 3 statements made were, the CISSP is the most valued information security certification, 2, it ranks as the top paying certification, and 3, proves you have everything it takes to design, engineer, implement, and run an information security program. But first, what is the CISSP? The CISSP stands for Certified Information Systems Security Professional, and it validates your skills around designing, implementing, and maintaining a cybersecurity program. So this is not a technical certification by nature. By nature, it is a managerial cert, and even the exam is multiple choice. So what the certification aims to do is teach you how to build, manage, and monitor a cybersecurity program. So who is the CISSP for? Well, the official website says that the CISSP is aimed for experienced security practitioners, managers, and executives interested in improving their knowledge across a wide array of security practices and principles, which include the following positions: the CISO, Director of Security, Director of IT, any security position along the lines of Systems Engineer, Analyst, Manager, Security Auditor, Architect, Consultants, and even Network Architects. Now, just for fun, I went online and I searched for the jobs asking for the CISSP. Out of the total samples, I selected 60 jobs. Do you want to know what I found? Come, let me show you. So out of the 60 jobs from my sample, 47% of them were cybersecurity analysts. And cybersecurity analyst is a grade entry-level position for cybersecurity. 13% of those were cybersecurity engineer. I think that is also a entry-level position, or maybe you need a couple of years of experience, I'm not sure. You also have a 13% incident response, the SOC, and then 12% for qualified security assessors, or like privacy or IT audit consultants, which is the world that I come from. And actually, that's a great place to start. They love hiring people straight out of college or without any previous background, because usually these companies are consulting companies. So they want to train you from the beginning. It is harder to train somebody who already has a framework that they utilize that may be different to the framework or the style that the particular company uses. So they like to get people fresh from the beginning and then train them up in their methodology. So that is definitely a great position to consider. That's a great place to start. Then with 7%, you have manager, and then with 3 and 2%, you have cybersecurity researcher, pen tester, forensics. The CISSP is definitely not a certification for pen testing. I mean, all of the research that I've done related to pen testing, the CISSP has never come across once. So, but this is what I got in my results. Now that we know what the CISSP is and what roles it appeals to, let's go back to the 3 statements made earlier in this video. The first was the most valued information security certification. So to get an idea of how the CISSP compares to other certifications, I went on Indeed and typed CISSP in the search bar. Once I searched for it, I clicked on the certification box to get that drop-down list. CISSP is the first one on that list with 22,677 job posts asking for that certification. The second entry was CompTIA Security Plus with 5,400. Quite a bit of a gap between the CISSP and the Security Plus. After that, you have the CCNA, CCNP, etc., etc. Now, to be fair, I did type CISSP in the search bar. So I did the same thing with the CISM and the Security Plus. So let's look for the CISM, check the certification drop down. We don't see it. We have CISSP and Security Plus, and it's nowhere in the list. So let's take a look at a few of these jobs and make sure that they ask for the CISSP. It's probably an error. So let's just scroll. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this job asks for the CISSP or the CISSP. Let's check another one. So that one has the CISSP. Let's check this security analyst position. Okay, there you go. So this one asks for the CISSP as well. Let's check one last one. Okay, there you go. The CISSP or the CISSP. So even though we didn't see the CISSP under the certification list at the top with the CISSP and the Security Plus, we did see, based off of the handful of jobs that we selected and clicked through, that they were asking for the CISM or the CISM, right? So, but we also saw that where they asked for the CISM, they asked or the equivalent, the CISSP. And we also saw that as we clicked the drop down for the certification, we had like what, 6,000 results for the CISSP and then maybe a few other thousands for the Security Plus. So even if we add those two up and let's say it comes up to like 10,000 results, when we looked for the CISSP, we got a lot more results. We got about 22,000 results there. So this is a very high level analysis, but what I'm starting to see, and let me know if you agree or not, is that potentially there's more jobs that are asking for the CISSP than the CISSP, and when they are asking for the CISSP, the CISSP is an equivalent. So the last item that I want to cover here is, let's take a look at the government. So to work for the government, you need to be certified, and you need a certification that matches their requirements under the U.S. Department of Defense Directive 8570. So let's take a look. What you see in this table is 3 levels. So each row is a different category or group. So in the first one, we have IAT, which stands for Information Assurance Technical. And as we go from left to right, you have level 1, level 2, and level 3. On the second row, you have IAM, or Information Assurance Management. And the third and last row, you have the Information Assurance System Analyst and Engineer, I believe this stands for. And then you also have level 1, level 2, and level 3. So if we do a quick search for CISSP here, we see that for Information Assurance Technical level 3 requires a CISSP. That means that if you have the CISSP, you are, just from a credential perspective, you meet the requirements to work at that level, or any of these other certifications, which include the CCSP, which is also from ISC Squared, the CASP, which is from CompTIA, the CCNP Security, the CISA, or these SANS credentials. By the way that it works at the U.S. Department of Defense, if you have any of these credentials that meet the requirements for level 3, you don't have to get any other credentials for level 1 and level 2. So if you get the CISSP, you don't have to get a different certification while at level 1, while at level 2, and once you reach level 3. And the same applies with the other categories as well. For the last category, they ask for the CISSP at level 1, at level 2. This CISSP at level 3 is a different one. So this CISSP ISAP, that's a CISSP with a concentration. Okay, so I guess that for this last level, you would have to do something additional. The CISSP alone is not enough. So how does that compare to the Security Plus, for example? Let's take a look. So if we go back to IAT, or Information Assurance Technical, we see that, okay, level 2 for IAT, Security Plus, but not for level 3. So it will get you as far as level 2 for IAT, but for level 3, you would have to potentially get another certification listed here. Okay, so let's keep looking. So let's go to IAM, or Information Assurance Management. Level 1, they have the Security Plus listed, but it won't get you to level 2 or level 3. Then if we go to the information assurance, system analyst, and engineering, it won't even get you to level 1. So we can right away see that if you're looking for a government job, the Security Plus could be a great stepping stone and then help you build a base and a foundation for a more comprehensive, perhaps a more difficult certification like the CISSP or like we see here, the CISSP or the CISSP. But it will not get you through most of these levels. So let's take a look at the CISSP. And the reason that I'm comparing the Security Plus, the CISSP, and the CISSP is because the CISSP seems to be a counterpart for the CISSP, but the CISSP has been developed and created by a different organization called ISACA. So if we search for the CISSP, we get it for IAM level 3. So it'll get you through all IAM levels, or the Information Assurance Management. Okay. But if we go to the first row, which is IAT, or Information Assurance Technical, you don't see the CISSP here at all, which is interesting, right? So they consider it less technical than the Security Plus or even the CISSP. But what about the IASAE? So you have the CISSP, it actually won't help you for any of them. So the CISSP will get you through all 3 levels of the IAM, but not the analyst and engineering, and not the technical. If you get the Security Plus, you'll be able to get to level 2 of the analyst technical. You'll be able to get to level 1 of the Information Assurance Management, and it will not help you for the analyst and engineering. However, if you get the CISSP, that will get you through all of the levels for Information Assurance Technical, all of the levels for the Information Assurance Management, and it will get you through level 2 of the Information Assurance System Analyst and Engineering. The second statement they made in the video is that the CISSP is a top-paying certification. So I went online and did a little bit of research, and it didn't take me long, and I found this. The CISSP, they're looking at the average salary for 2022, and I'm pretty sure that this only includes the United States. They use the numbers by PayScale, ZipRecruiter, and Simply Learn. And as you can see, the average salary is around the $115,000 and $125,000 in 2022, which is pretty good. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you need the CISSP, you need to pass the exam to be certified, and you also need 5 years of experience, which already puts you sort of at that senior level or that manager level. And at that manager level, you're making 6 figures for sure. So this seems very, very doable. So I'm going to skip this part where they talk about the locations, and let's look at the CISSP average salary based upon a job role. Because if you're beginning, you're not going to start off as an information security manager per se, which is making an average of $123,000. But more so, you'll probably start as an analyst or an engineer or in the SOC or something like that. So if we look at the analysts, they are making $96,000. Now, what this article doesn't say is whether or not this cybersecurity analyst has 5 years of experience. But remember, right, it's talking about the CISSP average salary, and you need 5 years of experience to be a CISSP. So I'm going to take it as if that you have 5 years of experience and you're a cybersecurity analyst. This does not mean that you will get the CISSP. You're going to start off getting a job at $96,000 or $100,000. It's more so, what is the average salary for these constituents? So 96 is really, really good. Then the engineer is making 113, 123 for the security manager. The CISO is making 173. This actually seems pretty low. CISOs are definitely making more than that. I would assume like 250 grand. Security engineer, 106. Security architect, 134. So these are really, really good salaries, right? And again, you wouldn't start off with making these, but this is your potential. right? So if you get the CISSP, this is your potential. You could be making six figures or close to six figures after probably a few years of experience or 5 years of experience, whatever, right? Which is really good. You can live a very comfortable and decent life making that salary. I think that their statement in the video ranking it as one of the top paying certifications, I don't know if it's the top one or not, but as we can see, it does pay well. So if you get the certification and you have a few years of experience on the job training, you can definitely make six figures and up. So the third and last statement that they made in this video, so I'm going to talk about this statement, then we'll talk about the costs, and then I'll give you my conclusion. So the third statement, let me read it. It says, proves you have everything it takes to design, engineer, implement, and run an information security program. I guess if you have the 5 years of experience, which is when you become certified, and I guess if it's the 5 years in a specific cybersecurity heavy role, like probably as an analyst or as an engineer, then that could be true. But the exam alone is not going to give you all of the tools, right? You're not going to start off your first day at work, right? Let's say you graduated college, you have some experience somewhere, but not heavy cybersecurity experience. You start your first cyber job just by taking the exam and studying for it. I don't think you'd be prepared to implement a cybersecurity program and manage it and manage a whole team, and because cybersecurity is complex. Now, full disclosure, if you've seen my other videos, I have passed the CISSP. I'm in the process of the endorsement. I do have the 5 years of experience, albeit I met them during security audits and IT audits. So I'm not heavy cybersecurity. So this is the reason why I'm telling you, I'm putting myself, right, in those shoes. Am I ready to manage a cybersecurity program all by myself, hitting the road running? I would say no, in all honesty, right? You can put me in the position and I'm going to do my best, but there would definitely be challenges along the way. The exam is very good. I mean, you have 8 domains. It takes you through everything, really. It is a mile wide and inch deep, gives you all of the concepts you need. It helps you think from a business perspective, which is really important, because as IT people, and I don't even consider myself an IT person because I'm not technical, right? But as somebody who really likes IT and is enthusiastic about IT and security, your time and attention can get caught up on the fun stuff and then forget that you're doing this for a business. So what the CISSP does well is to position and create a framework in your mentality of, hey, it's all about the business, right? You start off top down and looking at the business holistically, understanding what is critical in terms of applications, processes, and then defending that as much as you can, taking a risk-based approach, because no one has an endless budget for security or anything else for that matter. So they do a really good job in explaining that and running you through it. Then also explaining and understanding all of the different concepts, the different types of vulnerabilities, all of the theories and security methodologies. Is the CISSP a really good exam? Does it have a lot of really good information? Yeah, absolutely. Did I learn a lot in studying it? Yeah, I did. I really did. Do I feel fully prepared to just jump on and implement the program from scratch or manage one and make changes? No, I don't feel fully confident. But I definitely feel a lot more confident now than I did before studying for the CISSP and passing it. If you take it from the perspective of you have 5 years of experience deep into the in a cybersecurity position like engineer, analyst, and then you get the CISSP to complement and really give you that framework, those methodologies, that mindset, and you combine the two, then yeah, it's very potent, very dangerous. So you're interested in the exam and getting certified, but how much does it cost? To get the CISSP certified, obviously you would need the experience, but let's put that aside for now. You would need to get the materials to prepare, you would need to pay for the exam, and then you would have to pay a membership fee to become a member of ISE². And the total would be $959. So it's not a cheap endeavor. So the materials that I have here, I chose the ISE² official study guide and practice bundles, practice test bundle. I think that should be more than enough for you. That'll give you a book to study, and then it'll give you questions in that book as well as additional questions and practice tests in the second book. So you get 2 books in this bundle for $85, which is not too bad. The exam is $749, so that's a bit of a hefty price. And then the membership fee is $125. And again, the total would be almost $1,000, right? So this is something that you would definitely have to take into consideration. I mean, $1,000 is $1,000. It's a lot of money. If your company is paying for it, then that's amazing, right? It changes the equation. But now we got to talk about ROI. When you ask yourself that question and you're weighing, should I get the CISSP? Should I not? Why should I get the CISSP? Costs should definitely be a consideration. My humble opinion is that the CISSP is worth it, and you should take it if you don't have the $1,000. Maybe think about a different certification, maybe the Security Plus. The Security Plus is cheaper. I think it's everything in total would be about $300, maybe $400. So it's still a little expensive, but a lot more doable. So you need to consider that. But as we saw today, the Security Plus, well, actually the Security Plus is really good for a beginner, right? I also have the Security Plus. It takes less time to study for. It breaks it down for you so that you start building a foundation in cybersecurity. So if these concepts are new to you, this is a really great place to start. And then the exam is cheaper. And as we saw, there are a lot of jobs that are asking for the Security Plus, and that could definitely get you an interview and a foot in the door, right? And at the end of the day, that's what certifications do, right? So when you're weighing, let's say you do have the $1,000, right? But that's not the only investment you're making into this. You're also investing your own time, because as you're studying for the CISSP, and again, right, if you saw my other video where I talk about my experience and how I passed it, you saw the book. The book is ginormous. The book is 1,200 pages long. There's tons of information. If you don't have a background in security, if you're not technical, you're going to struggle. And I'm telling you that because I struggled. So I was going through it. It was like swimming in peanut butter, you know? It's just like I'm doing a lot of work, but not getting as far as I need to get. So, but going back again, is it worth it? What should we consider, right? We should consider the money, which is $1,000. We should consider the time, right? Because you're going to be spending a lot of time studying for this. So do you have the money? If yes, okay, great. Do you have the time, right? Now, let's say that you do have the time, right? And you're saying, yeah, but I don't know if I want to spend that much time into it, right? And it's really up to you how much time you spend on it. You could spend 2 hours a day. You could spend 6 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Up to you, right? I wouldn't recommend 12 hours a day, but it's totally up to you. So depending on your circumstance, the way that I would look at this is, or the way that I looked at it, and maybe it helps you. Right? I left my previous job as an IT auditor. I want to get into cybersecurity, pen testing to be more specific. And, but I really wanted the CISSP, even though I know that the CISSP is not a pen testing, it's not going to help me become a better pen tester. Maybe not immediately, right? But it does help me understand security better and become a better professional. I still wanted to get it because the CISSP does have a big hold in people's minds. It is recognized. So whether or not it makes you an expert is kind of irrelevant, because when you have it, people see you as an expert, right? So whether you are or aren't, it doesn't really matter. It's how you're perceived. So you could be a complete genius in cybersecurity, but if the way you carry yourself, if the way you speak, if the way that you, maybe you don't have any certifications, and you haven't proven yourself out there, right, with your projects and works, then how would people know, right? How would people know? So I think that is what it boils down to, that the CISSP will give you recognition when someone sees it in your resume. And even if you're straight out of college and you don't have any job experience, mind you, you won't be able to get certified, but you'll be able to put there, I think that the technical term is associate of ISE squared, which is basically, I've passed the exam, but now I need to just meet the experience requirements. I've watched many videos on YouTube and read several discourses on the internet, on the interwebs, that, it doesn't make sense. Why would you get it? People would look at you weird because you don't have the experience and yet you have the certification. And listen, I hear you. I hear it. That's that could be your point of view. I don't agree with it though, and I'll tell you why. I worked as an IT audit manager before, right? So I was hiring for people. So let's say I get somebody straight out of college and has the CISSP, which would be valuable in the IT audit world as well. I would be like, wow, that's impressive. That's very impressive. This person is bringing something to the team that no one else has, right? That's how I would see it. It's like, wow, this person is committed. They're serious about this, about cybersecurity. They spent their own money on it. They can study for a long time and not give up. They're perseverant. So I think that it reflects very positively in a person. It's like, wow, they care in getting educated. They're really serious about the career, and they can commit to studying something for a long time, pay a large sum of money. This person is serious about cybersecurity, as compared to somebody who doesn't have it, right? How do you, when you get a resume, and the thing is that managers are so busy already, right? So when you get a resume, you scan through it, right? And putting down a certification, putting down the CISSP pops up like this, right? Why? Because it's one line. It's what? 4 or 5 letters? 5 letters long? CISSP, right? Or let's say you don't have the experience. Associate of ISE squared, right? It's one line like this. Okay, wow. This person has shown me that they have some sort of qualifications, as compared to maybe something else that would require more lines. No, I'm not weighing in value that, this passing the CISSP is better than somebody who works on personal projects and they have built an app, or they have built scripts and they have experience here and there. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it from the perspective of a manager seeing it. This is what I'm saying. It will help you. Even if you don't have the experience, it will definitely help you. It won't harm you at all, right? It'll put you one step or several steps above the next person, because what I came to learn is that it is very competitive out there. So if you go look at TryHackMe has 1 million subscribers, okay? Whether they're paid, whether they're active, etc. Nevertheless, there's 1 million people who subscribe to TryHackMe. There's tons of people on LinkedIn and online that want to become hackers or pen testers, that want to get into cybersecurity. It is the really, really hot industry. So the whole, there aren't any people in cybersecurity, is not really true. That's not what I'm coming to find out. Actually, there's tons of people in cybersecurity. What there aren't tons of people are experienced people, right? But there's a lot of noobs like myself coming into this industry and just getting the badges, putting in the work, bootstrapping and getting it done to enter in. So it is very competitive. So whatever you can do to differentiate yourself, especially if it carries weight in the eye of the beholder, do it. So what's my take? If you have the money and you have the time, or you can find the time, do it. Get the CISSP. It's not going to hurt you, right? It's not going to hurt you. If you're trying to get into cybersecurity, it's only going to help you. The experience, every manager, me as a manager and every manager I've met, they don't care about the experience. What's impressive about the CISSP is that you were able to study all that material and pass a pretty difficult exam, because it's not easy. It is a difficult exam. So that's what's impressive. So anybody who sees that you have passed it, even though you don't have the years of experience, will give you 2 thumbs up and will definitely put your resume on top of many others, and will at least get your resume on the top of the pile, and will get you an interview. And then it's up to you, my friend, to close the deal, right? To tell them why they cannot let you walk away. But it got you there, and that is the first main step, right? So is the CISSP worth it, right? Ask yourself, do I have the money? Do I have the time? Can I make the time? It will definitely help you. It will differentiate you. Am I serious about cybersecurity, right? So if you say yes to these things, then go for it. What are you waiting for? Go purchase your bundle right now from Amazon. I hope this video helped you. I hope this brought some value to you, and if so, that makes me super happy. So yeah, and if it does, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.